Welcome to Vision Class and welcome back to Vision for Mathematics and Complex Numbers. We are now on example 4 under modulus of a complex number. And to solve this number, we are given two complex numbers, Z1 and Z2. And part A is saying that we need to find the magnitude of Z1 plus Z2. So here the first thing that we do is we first get Z1 plus Z2. After adding them, then we find the magnitude of the resultant solution. So here we shall start by saying Z1 plus Z2 equals to, what is Z1? Z1 is negative 1 minus I, but we are adding it to negative 6I plus 3. This is just a simple addition, and in case you are not familiar with it, go and watch our list of videos under addition of complex numbers. So here we collect the like terms. Whichever you collect first, there's no problem. So let me start with the real part. We have negative 1 and positive 3. Negative 1 plus 3 minus I minus 6I. And then negative 1 plus 3 is 2 minus 7I. This is the summation of Z1 plus Z2. Now what is X? X is the real part which does not contain I, which is 2. Y is the imaginary part coefficient, which is negative 7. Now for me, you can now say its magnitude of Z1 plus Z2 is given by the square root of X squared plus Y squared under root. Yes, this gives us here what is X. X is 2, but we are squaring it, plus what is Y. Y is negative 7, but we are squaring it. Here you press the calculator. What is 2 squared? 2 squared is 4, plus what is negative 7 squared? Negative 7 squared is 49. Then you add, this gives us here square root of 53. And then you press the calculator. What is the square root of 53? It's around 7 point something, 7.2. Square root of 53 is 7.2. This gives us a 7.2801 units. So this is the magnitude of Z1 plus Z2. Going to the second part, which is part B, which is saying the magnitude of Z2 minus Z1. So the first thing we do is find Z2 minus Z1 equals to, what is Z2? Z2 is here. Z2 is negative 6I plus 3. But we are subtracting Z1. Since Z1 has two terms, we open the bracket and we put your negative 1 minus I. Put your negative 1 minus I. Then you proceed. This means we shall have negative 6I plus 3. Then you open the bracket with a negative number, which is negative 1. This gives us here positive 1, because negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Negative 1 times negative I is positive I. Then we collect the like terms. This means we shall have here negative 6I plus I plus, what is 3 plus 1? That is simply 4. Negative 6I plus I, that is negative 5I plus 4. So that is Z2 minus Z1. But we are looking for the magnitude of Z2 minus Z1. Therefore, what is X? X is the real part, which is 4. What is Y? Y here is negative 5. You should be okay with that by now. Therefore, now the magnitude of Z2 minus Z1 is the square root of X squared plus Y squared. This now gives us, what is X? X is 4, but we are squaring it, plus what is Y? Y is negative 5, but we are squaring it. This gives us here, what is the square of 4? That is 16, plus the square of negative 5, that is 25. And then we add 16 plus 25, that is 41. Square root of 41. And then you press the square root of 41. It is 6.4031 units. So this is the answer for part B. Now the concept is as long as they're asking for the magnitude and they're adding the numbers. First add the numbers, or in case of subtraction, you first subtract the numbers. They could give you as many complex numbers as possible. They can give you Z1, they give you Z2, Z3, and you find that asking you to find the magnitude of Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3. What you first do is you start by adding all the three complex numbers first. After adding, and then you can find the magnitude, because at the point when you are finding the magnitude, you only have two terms. You have the I part and the real part only, or you may have only one in case the other cancels out. So even they can give you a mixed one, Z1 minus Z2 plus Z3 magnitude. You do the same thing. You get Z1, subtract Z2, get the answer. And then to that answer, you add Z3. So just know they can ask you very many questions in this aspect. But I've given you the bottom line where you lay your foundation for solving a very complex number and a magnitude. Now let us go to part C. Part C says that we need to find the magnitude of Z1, Z2. So what is the first thing that you need to do here? The first thing that you need to do is to find the magnitude. You first find the product of Z1 and Z2, and then go to magnitude. Z1, Z2. This is going to be the same as what is Z1? Z1 is negative 1 minus I, and Z2, which is negative 6I plus 3. Then you multiply. You know how to multiply. Negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 6I, it gives us positive 6I. Negative 1 times 3, negative 3. Negative I times negative 6I gives us positive, because negative times negative positive. 1 times 6, 6I squared, it gives us 6I squared. The negative I times 3 gives us negative 3I. And then we proceed here. I'll have here 6I minus 3 plus 6. But what is I squared? I squared is negative 1 minus 3I. So 6I and 3I are like terms. So 6I minus 3I gives us here 3I. Then here we have minus 3. Positive 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. This now gives us 3I minus 9. That is the product of Z1 and Z2. Now conclude here. What is X? X is negative 9. What is Y? Y is 3. Therefore, now the magnitude of Z1, Z2 gives us now the square root of X squared plus Y squared under root. This gives us here now. What is X? X is negative 9, but we are squaring it. Plus, what is Y? Y is 3, but we are squaring it. What is 9 squared? 9 squared, we have Z1, Z2. What is 9 squared? 9 squared is it's 81. So 81 plus what is negative? No, what is positive 3 squared? It's positive 9. Then you add what is 81 plus 9? That is 90. And then 90 square root of 90. Square root of 90 is 9.94868 units. So this is the magnitude of this complex number. And still they can give you very many complex numbers. They can give you very many. They can give you Z1, they can give you Z2, maybe Z3, up to Z4, up to a given number of complex numbers. Then they can ask you to find the magnitude of Z1, Z2, even Z3. So now here, the only thing you can do here is just multiply. You can start by multiplying Z1 times Z2. And then you arrive at your answer in this format, 3I minus 9. and then you go on, get this answer again, multiply it by z3, and then you get another answer. Now to that answer, you find the magnitude. Or in case there are four complex numbers, for example, that's when you find z1 times z2 times z3 times z4. You see, get z1 times z2, you first multiply them, two of them, to make your work easier. After getting the answer, get that answer multiplied by z3, you work it out, you get the answer. After getting that answer, multiply it again by z4, you get the answer. And then to the final answer, get the magnitude of that complex number in this format, and you'll be in position to have your correct answer.